Do you believe in the free enterprise system, Jeff?
Yes. Yes, I do believe in the free enterprise. I do believe in the free enterprise system, but I do think, frankly, that consumers need to be protected. And I don't know where you folks are, but we weren't protected in the financial crisis. Maybe you guys did okay, But for the 10 or 11% of the population who's now unemployed and who didn't get any consumer protection, all right? Or the people, frankly, who take some of this medication and don't necessarily need it. We just lost one of my daughter's best friend, 18 years old, from a situation related to that, on antidepressant medication. There are consequences. And it's about a balance in life between public responsibility, accountability, reasonable safeguards, and business. We want to see both occur.
Bill, do you want to respond to some of this?
Yeah, I do. I want to respond to a lot of things. So on the one hand, I don't necessarily believe you're against free enterprise, but you're clearly against advertising and marketing of any sort. Clearly. Because what you're saying you would do is actually make it impossible for anyone to, oh my God, do something as evil as targeting a customer. Oh my God, I'm targeting you. I'm shopping for something, and because I'm doing certain things that I want to buy a car, and therefore you give me an ad for a car. Oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. That's what you're saying. Basically, targeting is evil. And it's not evil, it's marketing. It's only if you don't believe in marketing that you can say that. Now let's talk about this privacy thing, because you've gone on and you make it sound like we're allowing by this, and I actually build these things. I know how they work. I know what we can do, and I know what we can't do. And I know that we cannot in any way identify the person that we're talking to by placing a cookie. There's no way. You could triangulate in a very complex way, except for the fact that we're not allowed to do that either. So that's not true. It is true that we can tell whether one IP address went from spot to spot to spot, and I can retarget an ad to that person so that they'll see it in a different context. Sure, we can do that. Do I know who that person is? Absolutely not. And if I'm a sufferer of a condition, and I find that that treatment might actually help my life be better, what the heck is wrong with that?
It's clear you guys have not been paying attention to the privacy debate. The debate has moved on, where IP and cookies are now considered PII.
Jeff, that's
right?
your opinion
no,
on
no,
this.
No,
it's not
the debate has moved on.
No, Jeff, the debate has not moved on.
Yes, it has moved on. It has moved on in
It's moved on in your mind.
No, it has. Well, let me suggest to you, it's moved on, and and this is why I would say that the pharmaceutical companies.
Do you want to respond to the question about whether target marketing is appropriate?
I don't think target marketing is appropriate when it's engaged in tremendous amounts of data collection and using a variety of techniques to track a consumer.
So the answer is it is not.
What I'm saying is that the digital marketing system that's been created, and especially when it's targeted in very important areas related to consumer welfare around health and finance and kids and race, is in fact a problem.
So it's not about targeting, it's about the targeting that you can do on digital marketing.
It's about targeting the digital marketing.
So it's okay to target somebody on other things and other media, but not in the digital.
It's the elements used, but I would say the data collection is a real problem. And you're wrong, John. You've not been part of this debate.
No,
you're FTC. You've not been
part of a different place, but
I'll tell you, look at the front page of the business section, or look at the the Wall Street Journal took our information for the Why We Know series, What They Know series, right? The debate's moved on, and you guys are behind this debate. You guys are behind the curve.
Thank you. I think it's Mr. Drummey's turn again.
I personally don't believe I'm behind the curve on this. I think I understand the issues that are going on here. I happen to think you're a very smart guy, but incredibly misinformed about what actually goes on. Have you ever sat through a 4-day regulatory review meeting? Do you have any idea what that is?
For the drugs, you mean?
For any promotional material that we make. Do you know what we have to go through?
And you have not been honest about the use of interactive advertising with the FDA. You have not provided the information.
What are you talking about?
You have to provide. Wait. You have to provide them with the actual research that has been used and been developed by the companies that, like Microsoft and others, that show the impact.
That's your opinion, you understand, not the opinion of the FDA.
That's my view.
That's your view.
That's what I think the FDA needs to do, and I think that's what we're going to get the Federal Trade Commission to do.
Okay, but your opinion means it's false and misleading, not to share what you think ought to be shared, correct?
Well, that's my opinion, the opinion of other consumer groups, and if the industry wants to flaunt its nose at all the other consumer groups and public interest groups, go ahead. And if you guys think that it's not a Republican issue and a Tea Party issue, when people realize they're being tracked and targeted for cancer, you guys
But they're
are
not.
out
Okay,
of touch.
you said that again. And so, look, you've had your chance to explain your position. I just want to count.
You should counter. You should
I want to
feel
rebut
counted.
the position
Yeah.
as much as I'm able to.
Sure.
And one of the things that you're saying is that you keep using this term that we're using, revealing private information for people, where we're basically violating the privacy. And if that were the case, it would be horrible. If we were saying, you as a HIV patient, you as a cancer patient, you as a whatever the condition is, we know who you are, and therefore we're able to, violate your privacy, and perhaps that information gets to, a government source that hurts your ability to get a job or health insurance. If any of that were true, I would be, absolutely, on your side. But I work with these companies. We build these campaigns. We can't do any of that. We never do any of that.
Maybe they should all come to you, Bill, because there are plenty of.
So give me an example. So tell me exactly what you're talking about. Precisely.
I'll refer you to my FDA website, and I urge you all.
Well, no, we're here now. Give me an example.
Pay attention soon.
But do you not have an example? Is that what you're saying?
I do. I just don't want to share them. I don't want to share them.
Why not?
Because
aren't we having a debate?
Because they'll be part of the case.
Can you respond to that, Doctor?
I have on my seat over there some of the figures that I hastily wrote down from an earlier presentation today. I wish I had it right in front of me. It was quite remarkable. There were these figures which showed, as you say, a low rate of trust. But on the same page, a much higher rate is that people are actually using. In other words, a lot of people, probably double the number who say they don't trust it, are actually using it. People are regularly using sources that they don't trust.
Because they have judgment, and they can say, I think the figure was 16% actually would go to a pharma-branded website because they have some critical faculty. Is this a nanny state where we have to actually prevent people from actually using their judgment?
No, but it's not a stealth state where, in fact, you don't tell consumers what's really going on. Now, last year, let me finish. Last year, when the University of Pennsylvania and the University of California, Berkeley did the first major study about the attitudes of consumers, young and old, about online advertising. They didn't know anything about it, about behavioral advertising, but then when they were informed about the process, the overwhelming majority were opposed to it and wanted to see it regulated. They don't know about it, but when they do find out about it, they want to see it regulated, including young people, so-called more sort of digital savvy computer users. So in fact, this is a problem. You guys may be in denial because you've created a business model based on really not informing the consumer about how you structure the digital pharma and online health marketplace, and it's time that they were told what's going on.
But that's not true. We have to go through a process where everything we do in a branded context is screened and reviewed by medical and legal teams. And not just the copy, by the way, also the imagery. And whether or not, don't shake your head, I go through this every day. It's happening all the time. Oh, my clients are different. I'm sure everyone in the crowd, your groups are probably doing it differently.
I looked at, I don't know, maybe if you're
What do you mean by health portals, by the way?
I don't want to name any companies.
Well, how are we going to have a debate?
I can speak to the fact that I've been involved in running groups that have created online advertising since 1996. And one of the most difficult things for internal corporations to handle right now is that to really do website reviews, the documentation is so onerous because of the sources, et cetera. So it's not like actually approving the process for a television ad or even a detail piece, et cetera, because it's so deep and inclusive. And that's been going on since 1995, and it's actually creating organizational issues in how to handle that.
Well, it essentially creates an overhead expense, which leads companies not to do it.
Let me add one thing. Look, the FDA doesn't really know very much about digital advertising, which is why we want the Federal Trade Commission involved. That has come up to speed because we pressured them on digital advertising. The FDA is incapable of dealing with this issue. If you've read, Marcia Engel's piece in the New York Review of Books last month, which talks about the fact that DMAC It simply doesn't have the staff. We're going to help the FDA out by getting the Federal Trade Commission and state AGs concerned about digital advertising and getting independent academics that study digital advertising up there to really come up with the kind of rules needed for this industry. But we need the FDA to come up with the appropriate regulations, or the FTC on social media marketing in pharma, which it does want to do, and which it needs to do, but it needs to do it in a very, very careful way.
Well, and if part of that is that pharma should not listen into social media conversations, I think that if there is misinformation, say you're on Gleevec and you have breast cancer and you're reading something and there's a misinformation statement about that particular product, it's almost really, I think, a pharmaceutical company's obligation to straighten out or correct misinformation that's going on in social media. So not only should they listen, but they should be transparent that they're answering any misinformation.
And transparent that they're listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And allowing consumers to make decisions about whether or not they want to be listened into.
But what's wrong with listening to a public conversation? Why is that wrong?
Why? Why is it wrong? Because
Yes.
First place, this is about their health behaviors, this is about their health concerns, this is about how they're being marketed to around their health concerns,
But why is
and
it
the
wrong?
individuals need to know that people are eavesdropping
you're
and
telling me
using
that
that information for actionable marketing purposes.